I mean, how have you enjoyed the experience here at the festival? You said you see at the premiere yesterday.
Yeah, it's like a birth, very much so. After a year, we were actually filming 1 year ago exactly, and for it to see the light of day and to be exposed to its audience, it's at the same time beautiful and painful also.
Yeah.
But it's very nice, to just have it out there. And the new part of the film is the audience, and that will finalize the movie.
We certainly got people talking.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
That's good.
I mean, more than any other film, I think, from the festival, from my perspective, after we came out, when my friends were all just like really bouncing and talking about it. Were you surprised that it got selected for the festival, given that it's not your conventional narrative or story?
I was aware of a risk of playing with these elements, especially coming from a tradition of more social cinema from Mexico that shows the reality of the crime, and corruption, and all these things. But I wanted to challenge myself, and to also challenge the expectations and the audience with this new way. And I wasn't sure about festivals. I mean, it's difficult to calculate that precisely. I knew I ran the risk of failure. If being in the competition is not failure, then it hasn't failed so far because it was selected. But I'm happy, and we'll see what else happens. Many people really are feeling passionate about the film, as far as being invited to other places to screen. So that's positive. That's good. That's a good sign of things to come. But I am aware that it's also a divisive film in some ways, and that people are maybe not understanding it completely or rejecting some of its forms, etc. I'm not sure.
It sort of combines, from what I sort of gathered from it, combines about 3-4 different sort of genres of film. You've got the horror, the sci-fi, and also there's still the personal stories that are going on. There's the thriller as well. Is that when you started out making the film, was that you thinking, I just want to put all of these elements together, or what was your thought process?
No, I mean, I was very much, first I started to write, as I always do, by things in the news or things I heard that inspired me. And then slowly I felt there was something missing after a few drafts of the screenplay. And somehow it made very good sense, perfect sense to have this thing that wasn't possible to be explained so easily, which is how I feel. The things I was exploring, I couldn't come up with an explanation or an answer or a clear anything of it. So there is, I think, in the air in Mexico, this mystery happening in many ways with the way the country is going. The government, I don't know if you've heard, there's 43 students that went missing from a couple of buses like a year and a half ago. And the government had something to do with their disappearance. They haven't ever been found. They're probably, the official explanation is that they were all burnt, but the families are very suspicious. So there's this, and this has been, of course, this is just a year ago now, and many other things, but there's this sense of darkness and mystery and horror that is in the air, and I think that's why, in part, I felt that it was natural to go to these darker, not human places, because that's the feeling that I have currently in Mexico.
I kind of felt like it was a nightmare. It's so surreal but yet so realistic as well at the same time. Where did you get that idea from? Is that something that
I feel that have you seen my other movies?
No.
Oh, no? Because I felt that all my films are they don't have elements like this movie, but they are very unsettling in the way that I film just reality, just normal stuff. Like its view of something happening, for example, be it somebody putting a glass of water, or serving a glass of water. I'd like to film it in I don't know. It's difficult to explain in words, but I always feel there's a certain suspense or weight, invisible weight that I have always filmed with, and this time with this other element, I was able to free that much more and really explore it more deeply. This because I like horror films a lot and suspense movies a lot, and even though I wasn't doing a straight horror movie ever until even now, it's not that, but I felt I was filming things as if it was a horror movie without it being a horror movie. I don't know if I can explain that properly, but so now it kind of felt more complete. Like, okay, now it's a bit more of a horror movie also.
And then do you work for CGI?
Yeah, I have my last 3 movies have a lot of, not tons of it, as here also, very precise work, but I guess this is the most complicated that's ever been. But I've been experimenting with it since my second movie with some pretty complicated stuff that has to look really realistic. And yeah, good, thanks. I have been training my eye, I think, because from my second movie, which was more than 10 years ago, I think, I had a scene where a person got shot in the face with a shotgun and the head exploded. So and this is filmed like in a 1 minute shot, just like, and that's how I imagined it, and we were able to achieve it with digital, but it was very difficult, very long time and all the details. In my second movie, there's also some very realistic scenes of situations that were not possible to do without the CGI. And now this one was a bigger challenge also, but it was also not all just digital. It was like there's Peter Hjort is the visual effects supervisor. He's Danish, and there's a lot of work, real work, like physical work done as well. Because you have to, for things to look good, they have to be lit at that moment, and it's a very interesting process of effects nowadays. And what's also interesting is that smaller films like mine that don't have a big budget at all, we can start to do these things, and our imaginations are freed much more than before. I mean, before it would have been basically impossible 10 years ago to make this movie with the budget and these elements. But now it was still very difficult and expensive, but much less than before.
And I mean, despite it being quite unsettling, not very nice, it's also kind of sensual. I mean, we're talking about those particular scenes in the film. It's important for you to get a balance between those two sides of things.
Yeah, I've always had this mystery relationship with sex, as far as like death and sex are very mysterious somehow, because I don't know why, but I've always, in all my films, I also explore sexual desires. What does sex? How does it play in our every moment of our day, kind of thing? And this movie was a chance to play even more with that and to take it to another level of fantasy or outer worldly thing, but always very much grounded as a metaphor for reality. So I think what I feel I tried to achieve in the film is with these visual new elements that are very strange and out of this world, somehow they had to make some kind of sense emotionally for the characters. I don't know if that is understood or not, but there was a representation of what they were, what they had inside, or at least what the collective situation between these characters was. The result was this addiction, this creature, this force that they're all attracted and at the same time destroyed by.
Which is filling a void in their own lives, isn't it? I mean, we're all believing something.
Yeah.
The two women to this because fulfilled elsewhere.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And the acting as well was because the performances were so good and the story was so well told. I introduced this sci-fi element as well. It's just takes you to a different
thank you. Yeah, the actors are here. It was really nice to work with them. They're very young and looking like very adventurous, all of them, and they gave themselves very well to the movie. It's the first time that I work with them in a way that, because I usually work with complete non-actors from the street, basically, that don't read the script or anything because I don't want to confuse them. This time, all the actors read the script, and we worked and we rehearsed and we experimented, and it was richer than my other films experience as far as the acting went. And that the purpose of that was to allow the audience to be taken by the hand deeper with them and to feel it more, basically. No, thanks.
Thanks very much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Where are you from?
London. Bowl project. Did you ever expect that you would be here with it at the Venice Film Festival? And how is it to be here?
No, en realidad no. Creo que no esperábamos que llegara. O sea, sí habían como especulaciones de que había alguna oportunidad de que pudiera proyectarse en un festival así, pero no era algo seguro. Entonces yo creo que no lo pensábamos tanto así.
Pues no lo hicimos por eso.
Sí, no.
And it's not a conventional kind of movie that usually gets selected in competition this film because of the subject, sci-fi. When you, how did you get on board? What was it that attracted you to the project?
Para mí fue muy atractivo los temas que trata y las soluciones que le da a todo, como el tema de la misoginia, de la homofobia y así, que de alguna manera la criatura también representa el salirse de esa realidad nefasta que existe.
Sí, totalmente. O sea, sí es bastante, ¿cómo se dice? O sea, para mí el hecho de que estemos en un punto en donde se necesita tal vez una criatura de fantasía o alguna otra cosa que no es real hasta cierto punto para tocar estos temas y para que en este caso, o sea, las mujeres o no, inclusive también, o sea, ya el ser humano tenga que hacer algún cambio y pueda vivir de la manera en que él quiere, si es pues un poquito, o sea, para mí sí resulta eso, es un poquito como preocupante que tengas que recurrir a algo que no es real en cierta forma, aunque en la película, claro, es
sí existe.
Es simbólico, y sí existe, pero pues bueno, en la vida real, ¿no?
Yeah, because whilst it has sci-fi elements in the film, you know, both of you have got very strong character stories going on. Could you explain what about your characters that you play?
Como de mi personaje. Pues sí es o sea, mi personaje sí es una mujer que es para mí como la típica representación de la mujer todavía ahorita en México. En muchísimos pueblos de México se sigue viviendo esta opresión con la mujer, ¿no? Entonces sí es un personaje bastante complejo y que es muy difícil para ella todavía encontrar pues una cierta liberación hasta que no está esta criatura, ¿no?
Pues bueno, Verónica para mí es justo una chava no convencional, en México, o sea, es como una chava alternativa que sí puede, que sí toma decisiones y que es independiente y que posiblemente siempre haya vivido sola, ¿no? O sea, aunque viva con gente.
Sí, totalmente.
Pero es como una chava muy independiente y pues me gusta este personaje mucho porque parece que lo sabe todo y manipula todo, mueve los hilos de los otros personajes, pero pues, finalmente no habla tanto, o sea, no dice mucho. y eso me parece que es interesante.
And did you have any reservations at all? Obviously, the story is very sensual, it's a very sexual story. But before going into the projects, were you having apprehensions or reservations? Or concerns about how you showing these sensual moments?
No, o sea, como...
Pues yo creo que cuando leímos el guión ya sabíamos que existían estas escenas como sexuales y pues para mí no fue tan preocupante, o sea, sí me ponía nerviosa el día de la filmación de esas escenas, pero no, pues siento que si me hubiera preocupado demasiado no lo hubiera hecho.
Sí, exacto, o sea, al principio cuando yo también leí el guión, sí vi que habían escenas de desnudos o de sexo, pero después seguía leyendo otras líneas y ya después cuando tuve como toda esta línea de la historia de Alejandra, no, o sea, creo que era una de las cosas que menos me preocupaban. Claro, ya en el momento en el que estás en el set, sí es difícil porque es la primera vez, ¿no? Que estás como con tanta gente y así, pero lo que más me preocupaba más bien era como la parte en donde ella pues, tenía que lograr este cambio, ¿no? Tenía que lograr este cambio de liberarse y de ser una mujer fuerte. Eso era lo que más me preocupaba a mí.
I think it's probably, of all the films that are showing in the competition, it's probably caused the most conversation. Everybody's talking about it because it's unexpected and it's very compelling. How was the premiere? Did you enjoy the premiere? Did you enjoy seeing yourself on the screen, red carpet? What was the whole experience like?
Pues fue muy fuerte porque no la habíamos visto antes, ¿no? O sea, yo creo que justo crea expectativas porque es una película muy fuerte que toca, no sé, muchas sensaciones que todos han tenido y se pueden como sentir identificados. Pero sí, verse en la pantalla y, o sea, sí es muy fuerte y además, o sea, yo creo que en sí la película, aunque, o sea, si no hubiera salido yo hubiera salido muy reflexiva y pensando en cosas como medio en shock. Y pues como yo estaba ahí, pues fue como un doble shock.
Sí, era difícil estar en la historia, estar llevando como esa sensación de sí, como de qué va a pasar y después salirte también o volver a entrar justamente a eso, ¿no? Como estar viendo, como verte en tercera persona, ver la historia también y después ver que también tú estás teniendo estas escenas y que no. Sí, era un poco difícil al principio. De hecho, o sea, a mí me gustaría volver a verla y yo siento que ya viéndola más y más veces ya
creo que la tenemos que ver 5 veces para digerirla.
Sí, un montón, ya entendería muchísimas más cosas. Pero sí fue bastante extraño al principio.
So forgive me if you've answered this already, but I just wondered, did the film look like you imagined it to look? Because obviously a lot of stuff is CGI and happened afterwards, you know, so when you're acting it out you have something in your mind. And when you finally saw the film, is it how you imagined it?
No, o sea, sí, creo que sí. O sea, yo me imaginaba que, o sea, lo que proyectaba en la pantalla era totalmente distinto a pues, lo que soy, ¿no? Que era justo de lo que estábamos hablando cuando te ves en una pantalla también por primera vez y durante 1 hora seguida. Sí, o sea, sí es un poco extraño porque sí se ve totalmente diferente a...
Sí, eres otra persona.
Sí. Soy parte.
Thank you very much.